Hello and welcome to the virtual Olympus UK stand at the virtual photography show. I never thought I'd end up saying that much. Sean the Sheep and I, he's dressed in his finest West Ham Irons shirt, are here to show you some of my favourite images from my first year at shooting with Olympus kit. I had hoped that I would be there for I'd be there with you for a few days on stand presenting, but as you know, we can't do that. So hopefully here is the next best thing. I'm going to show you 10 of my favourite images, give you lots of hints and tips, make you laugh maybe, and show you what it's been like to use Olympus kit, which has been awesome. Are we all right, Sean? Yes, we are all right. So let's begin. Fantastic polar bear image. By the way, if I look down, it's because the images are here on my laptop. And if I appear to be sucking a lot, it's because I had a tooth out last night. That's why I've got water here. It's water, by the way. It's too early for vodka. But that's why I've got water here. So excuse me for that. Anyway, this polar bear I absolutely love. It's nice and level for once. I'm not looking down on it because it came up on a piece of ice. And making sure that it's level with us on the ship is great because it puts the background a long way away and the background doesn't cut it in half. Now, having my 300 f4, a lens that's only this wide and this long, meant I could lay down on the deck of the ship and get it through the side barriers of the ship, really, really low. So I was shooting 2 to 3 feet lower than I've ever done in my life, which meant that I could get these amazing low angle pictures of bears. I absolutely love them. I mean, look at that. Lovely composition as well. Slightly to the left of the center line that you see, looking across into the dead space. What are the numbers? So ISO 800 f5.6 to 320, so not much light there at the end of the day, but you don't really need much shutter speed for polar bears because they don't actually do a lot, to be honest. All right, so that's my number 10. Quite a good start, I feel. Don't you feel? I feel a good start. Right, number 9. Now, during lockdown, I discovered myself in many ways, and I found lots of really cool stuff to photograph within 5 to 10 minutes walk of my house in complete safety where we were. And one of the places I found was this stream that I would get into, and watchers of my Wild Angle YouTube show will know that I got in with some very dodgy wet waders. They were leaking, and I'd end up having a wet bum and wet feet within a few minutes of getting in. Anyway, I would get in this stream because just a little way along it was this real hot spot for damselflies, and I never knew that I'd like these beautiful damsels. Oh my God, did I? I just discovered them. I don't know what I've been doing, sleepwalking through my life to never see how beautiful they are before, but wow. So they would land on this really small reed over the water, and when one did, I noticed behind the light was in such a position it was creating this unique bokeh of all the light behind. When I got the pictures on the workstation, I found that one of them had the amazing prism light in the background. Wow! I mean, nature is so beautiful and it creates such amazing effects right in front of us. It's just incredible. I love it. The numbers here, this is on the 40 to 150 lens, lovely lens that. ISO 800, again, f4 3200. Why 3200 of a second? Because I'm trying to take takeoff pictures. That's what I was doing. And I don't change settings. I'm not the kind of photographer that changes settings all the time. I change settings as and when I need them. So there's no point changing from action to just to get to portrait. I love this. The composition's simple leading into the bottom corner there. Absolutely great. I just love it. Works very, very nicely indeed. Kingfisher shot. Now, I know a lot of people have got kingfisher shots, birds on sticks. I try to do slightly different from that because I've got lots of them and we all have. So I want to do a little bit of action. Now, this kingfisher I set up myself. I had to hide myself. I brought it into a fishing area, put the posts up, worked it all out. You can see it all on Wild Angle again. But the nice thing about this site was that 10 minutes before sunset, the pool would go from a beautiful red into darkness because it was in shade, but the branch would be in perfect sunlight. So that meant that I could light up the kingfisher beautifully with the last light of the sun, if of course the kingfisher would land on it. Now, this picture I shot with the 100 to 400. And at the time I was using it, I wasn't actually allowed to say anything. I wish when I look at this picture, I wish that I'd zoom back because the other bird was on the other end, the parent. The young one was going, I want some fish, I want some fish. And the other one was going, no, my old son. Cockney kingfisher, right? No, my old son, you're old enough to fish for yourself. I've been seeing you, so I'm not going to give you any food. And I wish I'd have seen them both, but I didn't. I zoomed back as it was to get this one in because I was doing some portraits to put his wings up. Luckily, I just did it. It worked really, really well. Shutter speed there is an 800th of a second, so it froze the wings enough. But look at the detail of it, absolutely beautiful. And again, very simple composition going across the bottom. Number 7, that's my trumpet, by the way. Blame the toothache and blame Sean. He's not allowed me to bring a real musical instrument because I'm dangerous with it here. Nice picture of a bee onto a flower, beautiful in a meadow. Actually, it's not in a meadow, it's in a tiny bunch of flowers in the middle of my garden that we mow around and leave all these wild flowers there because it's the only basically place they grow. The bee was coming down onto it. I shot through a load of flowers to get the natural frame. It's pretty hard to do it. So what you do when you do it, you get your eye on the viewfinder and you're scanning around like this, trying to find the gap where you can see through. But it's very, very effective. It frames it beautifully using Pro Capture to get this. I love Pro Capture. It's the most amazing tool ever on an Olympus camera. It's my stomach rumbling if you heard that. Brilliant live broadcast here. I love Pro Capture. If you want to know how to use it properly, Olympus photographers, I do run one-to-ones online on Zoom that I'll personalize for you. So have a look at my website under Ask Wildman Rouse. And I can show you how to use this amazing feature because I've really learned a lot about it and I absolutely love it. It's given me a whole new dimension to what I do and it's made me appreciate things like this bee, you know, what I wouldn't normally look at ever. More shame me as well for not doing that. All right, number 6. Again, with this lens, I mean, you know, it's ridiculous. This lens has freed me up so much. It means I can stalk without a tripod and stuff like this. This is, although it's 100 to 400, you know, Olympus photographers, on the system, it's a 200 to 800. So to have a portable 800mm zoom is fantastic. I managed to get close to this roe deer. I was in the shadow of the tree. The wind was right. The scent was right. My background was right. All the field craft was right. I waited for the roe deer to walk across. The sun was in the perfect position. When he turned and looked at me, it kind of lines up on thirds. It was really, really nice. So the composition with the bush in the top left, the top right there, the bush in the top left, it just works nicely. I shot it at -1.7 because I deliberately wanted a silhouette to give some atmosphere there. And you know all what happens next. Well, maybe you don't. If you're a roe deer photographer, you do. It doesn't sit and look at me. You think, oh, that's interesting. I'll come closer. It's a roe deer, so it goes and jumps off into the distance, and every other roe deer on the planet follows it. So that's the end of the encounter. But you know what? It's worth it to get such a special picture as this. And I want to take special pictures. I don't want to take postcards. I just want to take special pictures. All right, lovely shot here you can see of a marbled white butterfly. So really, really nice. Again, looking through the flowers. Again, same technique. Yeah, so get a duck around, duck and dive. I'm a Cockney wide boy, so I can duck and dive. Duck and dive, find your angle, get your nice shot. It's a lovely natural frame. And this lens is very good at shooting macro because you can shoot to 1.3 meters. Marbled whites don't like me. Probably my aftershave, probably the way I stink, but they don't like me at all, so they tend to fly away if I try a macro lens. But trying a big zoom lens and sitting back, your 40 to 150, your 300 f4, your 100 to 400, gets you some nice images. The compression looks better, and I think the pictures look better anyway. And I love this, the sharpness of it and all the bokeh and everything else. It's taken at 6.3, ISO 800, 3200th of a second. Why 3200th? Again, I was looking to do flight, which they didn't do. And I'm not going to change my settings because you change settings and you miss pictures. All right, number 4, we're into Tigerland. Tigers. I love tigers so much. I've photographed so many tigers with this setup in the past year. I can't wait to go back again to India. I just love doing it. I picked a special one because I didn't want to just pick an ordinary postcard or shot of a tiger doing just something normal. This is a dark to light transition, and I love doing dark to light transitions. So the tiger's walking along a track and it's going from the shade to the bright, to the shade to the bright. Very intense light. So when it comes out of that shade, I can have it at -2 stops. I can darken it right down so the background gets thrown out completely. And there's enough light on the tiger to really, really light it up and to make it really shine. It's this dark to light transition. I just love doing it in my photography. I love having these natural black backgrounds, and black is everywhere in nature. We just have to look for it. This is my vision and style. This is what I develop as a style. So, you know, I say to you all, don't just go out and just take pictures don't have a connection. Find your style, find your direction, and you take pictures to that. It will make you a better photographer, and it will make you enjoy it so much more. All right, number 3. Not right, Sean? Yeah, number 3. beautiful Demoiselle. For the second time in the top 10, it's a beautiful Demoiselle. This one was used all over the internet and social media when it came out. It was amazing, this flight shot I got again using Pro Capture. Again, if you want to know more details about it, have a look at the Ask Wildman Rouse on my website. But Pro Capture is just the most amazing thing. You know, it's the most amazing piece of technology. I shot this at a shutter speed of 2,500th of a second, and it's absolutely perfect the way it came towards me, all the wings out, absolutely razor sharp. And the thing is, with the Olympus system, there were 3 or 4 ways that I could have shot this. I just chose to shoot it using Pro Capture. The autofocus will be fast enough to do it. The silent mode shutter will be fast enough to do it. There's loads of different ways. I just love it, and I can't believe that I sleepwalked through my life, as I said, and never photographed these beautiful things before, and I will not make that mistake next year. I'll be right on them, enjoying it as much as I did then, even with my dodgy, leaky waders. And I know it's a bit full in the frame, and I've taken some others with the river in the background and stuff, but I thought you'd actually really, really enjoy this one. All right, number 2. Yeah, really, really interesting. I love the polar bears here, the position. You can see the picture behind me is on the wall there. Everything just came true this evening. It was the most amazing day for me anyway, on many levels. I used the fisheye lens, the 8mm fisheye. I leant slowly over to bend the horizon. I'm on the front of the pointy bit of the ship. The pointy bit, we'll call it that. I'm right there at the front. The polar bear has been with us with a cub for hours, just wandering around the ship, sitting, watching. It was amazing. Then she came to the front, perfect piece of ice there that they walked on, perfect sunset. I exposed to the bears here. So I exposed in the last fifth of the histogram, so I've got my peaks in the last fifth to make sure I've got the maximum image quality in low light. That's the way that I've always done it, no matter what system I've used. And all I had to do in post was just darken the sky a bit and bring out the true colour. It's really beautiful. The numbers, ISO 800 f4 800th of a second, so there's actually a surprising amount of light around. The quality of it, though, is not very good. So at Arctic sunset, you get lots of moisture in the air. The quality is not very good. So although it does seem like there's lots of light, there's not. But there, really, really beautiful image. I love it. And it does show that fisheye is not a gimmick. Fisheye is a great lens to use, okay, at all times. It makes a fantastic wide angle lens anyway when you don't bend it for a fisheye. But when you bend it a little bit in the right habitat, it looks tremendous, and I hope that you agree. That's great. So what's number 1? Well, some of you know who came to my Olympus conference. It's Derek the Hare. This is Derek. And I call him Derek, well, because he is a Derek. I find him in the same place all the time. He's got some very notable features on his ears and his coat, so I can always tell it's Derek. He's very, very amenable to me now. I've got him used to me, so I can approach him. On this day, it's one of the first times I'd found him. It was quite some distance. I didn't know to go closer, so I stopped, crawled across. The light was right, so he could really see me. The terrain was right, the wind was right, so I managed to get close enough to get this lovely misty morning picture. It's down at -1 stop compensation to darken it off because I wanted a silhouette, I wanted to get atmosphere, I wanted to get mood, which I really, really love and really, really enjoy. And I hope that you enjoy it too. It's got lots of space, and that's the thing. You don't need to crowd your pictures, you know, and that's the lovely thing about zooms, and this was taken with the 100-400 too. I mean, it's amazing, you know, the amount I use this lens now. But you don't need to crowd your pictures. And with zooms, it gives you the chance to, when you shoot, to think about the composition and get what you really, really want. So that's been my favourite picture of the year so far, which will probably change tomorrow. But there you go. A little look at what's in my kit bag. So I've got three EM1Xs and a Mark III. The reason I've got 3 is that when I do things like tigers and polar bears, I like to have all my lenses set. I don't want to be changing lenses in high pressure situations and miss shots. So I'll have like 100-400 on one, 40-150 on another, and a super wide angle on the other. And that's how I generally try and set my rig up. So you can see the lenses I've got there. I feel sorry for the 300 f4 because I don't actually use it much now because I use the 100-400 a lot. I've got a 60mm macro because I'm a pretend macro photographer, nowhere near on Geraint's level at all. He's the master at this, but I do play and enjoy it. And I've got the 1.4 teleconverter that I use a lot. So that's my kit bag. And finally, a little bit about me. I mentioned my one-to-one seminars. They're on my website. I also have bi-weekly, every fortnight show on YouTube, wildlife show on YouTube, showing me using the cameras and talking about lots of wildlife. It's got full of hints and tips. It's very good. I do lots of webinars. I do lots of e-talks. And I have an online club called The Wild Bunch where you get monthly talks from me, hints, advice and tips and stuff like that. Now, when my voice about to go, you can find me on social at Wildman Rouse. or andyrouse.co.uk. I'd like to say thank you to everyone, and thanks to the Olympus UK team for being so cool. You have no idea out there as users how good this team is. They dedicate themselves to you. They do lots of events for you. Lots of them are in their spare time, and everything is geared towards making sure you have the best experience of Olympus cameras, because we are a very happy club, and I am a very happy member of the Olympus Club. So hope that you enjoyed that. Get out there, enjoy your cameras, and see you next time.